The easiest method to avoid corporate surveillance and also government overreach was the simple method of the burner account. The ability to use a fake name, use an obscure email address, and exist online without having to tie your every single search to a real world identity. But if you think the right to remain anonymous online is permanently protected by the law, well, you are kinda wrong, and completely ignoring the massive coordinated switch that was just flipped across the nation in early of this year. So politicians are currently discussing a framework where you will no longer be able to simply just click a box claiming that you are an adult or use a fake birthday to bypass a screen. Like we are currently watching the federal government push forward a massive legislation package that is essentially like a Trojan horse for the death of internet anonymity. Like it's not just about like protecting children, like it is about creating a legal environment where the tech monopolies are pretty much forced to become the internet's new identity like police. They are moving towards a reality where every single platform, from social media to basic search engines, are legally threatened with catastrophic business ending fines unless they can verify exactly who you are. This means the government is essentially pressuring Silicon Valley, forcing them to implement the exact same military-grade biometric security checkpoints that centralized banks and crypto exchanges also use to track international money laundering. Like you will literally be forced to hold your physical government-issued state ID or driver's license up to your webcam and perform a live biometric facial scan just to prove that you have the legal right to open like a basic account. Like this is a live functioning like dragnet sweeping across like the US and even in more nations that is designed to completely eradicate your anonymity. If you're sitting there behind your monitor thinking that this is just some distant political theory that won't affect your personal life or your browsing habits or anything like that, well, you actually need to look at what has happened to other nations across the world because they are serving pretty much as the blueprint for what is going to be instated right now. So, for example, look at the UK, a country that has already fallen to this exact same infrastructure. So as of April 2026, the UK government has moved past the talking phase and is now in full implementation mode, with their whole regulator issuing joint statements on mandatory age assurance for almost every major online service. Like they've effectively weaponized their legal system to force age gates onto everything, from social media to messaging apps. And also, they aren't stopping at just protecting minors. Like they're creating a system where adult users are now being empowered, quote unquote, to verify their identities just to avoid being shadow banned or hidden from the public square. Like the exact same biometric vendors that are currently locking down the British internet are now looking at opening massive offices here in the US to help the US government roll out this exact same banking grade security checkpoints right here. Like the blueprint is pretty clear. Like first they will tell you it is to stop like trolls and protect like kids. But the end result is always the same. A centralized government monitored internet where anonymity is treated as like a criminal act. If you want to use basic services, you must show your face. If you want to browse, you have to show your papers. And the wall between your private life and your digital existence is being like systematically demolished. And the United Kingdom was just like the test case to see how much like the public would tolerate before they kinda got angry. But the absolute worst part about this creeping surveillance rollout is that the government isn't even waiting for federal laws to officially pass before they start actively locking you out of the web. Because the individual states have already decided to take matters into their own hands, creating an inescapable, incredibly toxic minefield. As we sit here in April 2026, at least 27 states have already passed or are actively enforcing their own versions of these identity mandating laws. So states like Texas, Florida, and Louisiana, those were like the early adopters. But now we're seeing a mass rollout where various states like North Dakota are taking a step further into the hardware layer. So look at North Dakota's newest mandate that just hit the books. Like they're literally requiring device manufacturers and operating systems like Windows and iOS to estimate your age at the hardware level and transmit a digital age signal to every website and app you visit. Like they're essentially building a digital leash into the very like silicone of your phone and your computer. Like when you have dozens of states out there passing these variations of biometric mandates, the massive tech platforms like Google and also Meta are absolutely not going to spend like millions of dollars custom building a different privacy respecting login for every state border. So instead, they're just taking the path of least resistance and defaulting to the most aggressive privacy destroying identity standard available across the entire nation, just to avoid getting dragged into court. The era of simply checking a box that says you are over the age of 18 is kinda gone, actually being replaced by a centralized corporate dragnet that demands you to hand over your highly sensitive biometric data before it even allows your home router to load a basic feed. So when you step back and look at the actual mechanism of forcing millions of innocent people to be forced to upload their government issued IDs, their passports, their driver's licenses, and even more like the real-time biometric facial scans to a handful of centralized tech monopolies just to access a public forum, you quickly realize that they are not really protecting anyone. Like they're actually engineering what might be the most dangerous, volatile cybersecurity honeypot in human history. Now, you need to actually imagine a terrifying reality where those exact same incompetent, hyper profit driven tech monopolies are legally mandated by the government to warehouse a high resolution, mathematically perfect scan of your actual face, your address, and also your legal name, all tied perfectly to your private internet search history and also your direct messages. Because the platforms themselves don't want to handle this massive liability, they're outsourcing it to third party verification vendors, pretty much creating a massive, highly lucrative shadow industry of identity brokers. The exact second that one of those private vendors gets breached, and looking at the current state of cybersecurity, they absolutely will get breached. International hackers, they won't just steal a password you can easily just reset. They will steal your literal identity. There's absolutely no way to organically change your facial geometry or your fingerprint once it's permanently leaked into the digital criminal underground. Meaning this legislative push is actively forcing you to expose yourself to potentially catastrophic identity theft just to prove that you have the right to be online. This entire push for digital IDs across the nation and even across the entire world was never about just protecting their children. It has always been a highly calculated, systemic operation designed to condition the public into accepting a dystopia where accessing the open web requires a centralized government-approved digital passport. We are currently watching the real-time, brick-by-brick construction of a corporate panopticon. It is only a matter of time before it creeps into your OS, your web browser, and even more. We're sitting on the crossroads of the future, and yeah, we kind of have to lock in. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have anything to say, just let me know, and yeah, I'll see you next time.